Hey, what up, Comp One students? It's been a minute, but if you're watching this, you've gotten a chance to stick around. Hopefully, you've been reading the announcements. I know you've been seeing, if you haven't already, in that new module, some new videos that popped up. I just want to give you an overview of what to expect, and I also just want to kind of give you just some sense of clarity around how we're going to move forward. Step number one. We started something. We said when a person is committed to education, despite whatever happens, our levels of commitment to education is something that we hold near and dear. And you told education earlier this semester how you were going to be committed to it, and hopefully this hurdle, roadblock, something that is unprecedented. Hopefully, it's not something that's going to take us completely out. But to those of you who are looking to withdraw because you're just not really one of those online students, feel free to shoot me that email. Some of you have already gotten me an email saying that you're looking to withdraw. You'll just need to speak to one of the advisors, and one of the advisors will walk you through the process of withdrawing, because we do have some amazing options for students if they do decide to withdraw, given the online unexpectancy of these courses. All right, so if you're looking to withdraw, don't worry, we'll take care of that. For those of you who are looking to stick around, hey, we're going to do this. We are going to do this together. There are some cool new features that we're going to be using that's going to make the class environment feel hopefully as best as we can back to the way in which we were. I'm open for meeting at specific times for Comp 1 and meeting at specific times for Comp 2 classes. I'm open for setting a specific time, and then you all can all FaceTime in or Zoom in, and we can have a class. And I'm also for doing like what I'm doing now, which is just shooting little clips to try to give us an idea of what's happening. So let's jump right into just some little things that you might want to keep in mind as we move forward. Number one, we're still in unit number 2, and we're working on the introduction, and now we need to work on the conclusion for this particular essay. We've already done parts 1, 2, and 3. Remember, part 1 was we used the relationship between reading and writing to compare and to talk about the impact of our reading and writing with regard to gender. That was part 1. Then it was with regard to race. That was part 2. And then I gave you that third source option when you had to find an article from the library database, and you can do one of 3 things with that. You could either do 3 more paragraphs from an article that relates to reading and writing, and I gave you 5 different steps on how to do that. Or you could do step number 2, which was you could take some of the direct quotes that you found from the article, which is your third source article, and then you can embed those into the other 6 paragraphs that you have. And remember, you only need to do 3 articles or 3 direct quotes from 1, if not 2 articles that you pull from the library database. And then I gave you the last option, which was to do a combination where you could either write your own paragraph based on a quote that you pulled from your third source, and you could take a quote from your third source and embed it. I have examples of those options already posted. It says third source examples, and I can post even more examples, but I also have videos uploaded of how to write an introduction and how to write a conclusion. Once you have your body paragraphs done, which is what you should already have at this point, all we needed to do this past week that we were supposed to be in class, we're supposed to be working on how to write an introduction, conclusion, and I'll be posting a video on how to do a works cited page. Once we have those things laid out, then we can just move forward, put a rough draft due date on this, and then we can do our final draft. Please note, I did say that the first due date was going to be March 30th. And so this week we want to see how much we can get done in our introduction, conclusion, and those body paragraphs. I'm going to ask that you submit those to me in its rough draft form so I can make some comments on them. And then after those comments, you'll make the changes that you need to make. And then we'll get into the final draft, which will be due on that Wednesday class. All right. So feel free to ask me questions. I'll be here, like I said, specific times throughout the semester. If you don't know what those specific times are, just go ahead and look in the announcement section and you'll see the times allocated. And if those times don't work for you, no worries. Send me an email. We'll see if we can give you a different time to talk to me. I'm going to put my cell phone number out there as well. And you can contact me. I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. Feel free to reach out to me there as well. Y'all, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. I'm going to streamline this class down to just finishing Unit 3. And then, or finishing this unit, we'll jump right into Unit 3. It'll take us 2 or 3 weeks to do Unit 3. And then we have the final exam. I'll just tell you right now, the final exam is just the letter that we're going to write, just like we did with the Dear Education letter. And so it's just going to be something that, kind of comes full circle. The major essays, though, were essay number 1, the one that you're working on, and essay number 3. And then we have that Dear Education letter from the beginning paired with the final exam, which will be another letter. And we'll talk about that. Nobody has ever said that they hate the final exam. And so don't worry. If you can get through the rest of this unit and get through Unit 3, I think we're going to show education that we can be fully committed no matter what unprecedented circumstances come our way.